Welcome to PNW TV News. In the headlines tonight. 2 suspects are arrested for allegedly shooting an elderly couple in Rustenburg. And the MK Party responds to President Ramaphosa's call for a national dialogue. Further ahead this evening, the White House delivers a message from President Donald Trump on the U.S. involvement in the Iran-Israel conflict. In the business news here tonight, a tobacco bill bans the sale of loose cigarettes. And the sports. In the sports news, international rugby resumes as the Springboks prep for their home series. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this Friday evening. I'm Boitumelo Monare. We begin with a developing story. 2 suspects have been arrested in connection with the fatal shooting of an elderly couple at a shopping mall in Rustenburg on Saturday, the 14th of June. The 29-year-old and 41-year-old suspects were arrested in connection with the murders on Wednesday. Now, the suspects appeared before the Rustenburg Magistrate Court on Thursday, facing 2 counts of murder. Now, Colonel Adele Maybach shared these details with us.
The vehicle was traced, found and seized at Ndamoyi in Boitumelo. Upon being questioned by the police, the first suspect conceded that on the fateful day he was traveling in and driving the Kia Rio vehicle and that he was with his friend who was the one who allegedly shot the elderly couple before they fled from the scene. He then took the police to Rustenburg East, where his accomplice is staying. The police, upon arrival, found the second person who showed them a pistol. The suspect was immediately placed under arrest and the firearm seized.
The case has been postponed to the 2nd of July for bail application. The court has also ordered that the accused names should not be disclosed. More provincial news. The Umkhonto we Sizwe student movement in the Northwest province strongly opposes President Cyril Ramaphosa's intentions to initiate a national dialogue aimed at addressing the issues plaguing the nation, particularly those affecting students. The student movement says that youth, particularly marginalized students, are underrepresented. Now, the Umkhonto we Sizwe student movement Northwest convener Tswello Pelesene speaks.
The business people, the politicians, the former minister Lindiwe Mazibugu, those people are privileged. So, as Umkhonto we Sizwe, we were expecting President Ramaphosa should make at least from each province from poor communities who will be there, national dialogue, who will represent the society.
A developing story here tonight. Political analyst Levi Ndou says former Umkhonto we Sizwe Party Secretary General Floyd Shivambu still has the potential to make a huge mark in South African politics. This comment comes after Shivambu dismissed any speculation that he might be leaving the MK Party anytime soon. Yesterday, Shivambu announced that he is in consultations on whether he should start his own political party.
Ladies and gentlemen, the people of South Africa, we are here today to announce a process that is going to speak to all the people of South Africa with the aim of establishing a political party if the people of South Africa say we should do so. We do not want to do that as a personal project or as a group of friends project. It must be a party that is owned by the people of South Africa. So that is basically what we had called this press conference to communicate. And we will be going to the ground to speak to the people. We'll be talking to young people via social media platforms and other media platforms. Will provide platforms as to how the engagements are going to happen. We are going to next week announce the leadership core that is going to be responsible for the consultation process. And that leadership will be coming from all the provinces of South Africa, will be properly gender balanced, and not just a group of men or boys. It will be a combination of different skills and capacities so that we're able to listen much more attentively to all the people of South Africa. We thank you very much for having attended this otherwise intimate briefing on what we had to deal with. Thank you.
With that, let's get the international news. There appears to be an openness to diplomacy amid escalating tensions between Israel and Iran. US President Donald Trump will decide whether or not the US gets directly involved in the Iran-Israel conflict within the next 2 weeks. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has so far repeatedly declined to discuss hypotheticals, including on whether Iranian officials could come to the White House or whether Trump would seek approval from Congress over any US involvement. Leavitt delivered this message directly from Trump.
A illegal alien was released into the interior of the United States of America last month under this administration. Let's contrast that to Joe Biden's failed leadership, where immigration officers were wasting their finite time and resources processing dangerous illegal aliens for release into the United States. President Trump immediately terminated that reckless Biden-era practice that undermined the rule of law, jeopardized public safety and our national security, and diverted critical resources away from stopping deadly drugs and violent criminals from entering our country. That's the reason why not a single illegal alien was released into the interior of the United States in the month of May. And as a result, we now have a border that is reaching unprecedented levels of operational success. The efforts by President Trump to stop the illegal immigrant invasion and secure the border in this short amount of time represent one of the greatest achievements by a presidential administration in the history of our great country. With illegal entries being overwhelmingly halted, the Trump administration is dramatically ramping up efforts to arrest and deport all of the millions of criminal illegal aliens that Joe Biden let into our country over the past 4 years. President Trump has directed all of our ICE officers to do everything in their power to carry out the single largest mass deportation operation in history. Illegal criminals who are hiding in America's largest so-called sanctuary cities will be increasingly targeted for removal. Radical Democrats will no longer be allowed to shelter illegals who threaten public safety as part of their cynical efforts to expand political power, drain the American taxpayer, and artificially lower wages and steal American jobs. ICE officers are courageous heroes, upholding the rule of law and keeping our citizens safe. And they have the full and unwavering support of this president. In economic news, President Trump's pro-growth agenda is delivering for the American worker. Through the first 5 months of the Trump administration, real blue-collar wages are up nearly 2%. It's the strongest growth in nearly 60 years and a stark contrast from the negative wage growth seen during the first 5 months of the Biden administration. America is quickly returning to the successful formula of the first Trump administration: low inflation and rising wages. Once the big, beautiful bill is passed, this positive trend will only accelerate. Senate Republicans are continuing to push this critical legislation forward. The One Big Beautiful Bill will drive growth and supercharge the American economy. The Council of Economic Advisors found that the One Big Beautiful Bill will raise take-home pay by nearly $14,000 for a year for the average family of 4. The CEA also found that the One Big Beautiful Bill will increase wages as much as $11,000 for the average worker in America. The One Big Beautiful Bill expands the child tax credit and makes it permanent for more than 40 million families with children. And the bill will deliver no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and substantial tax cuts for our incredible seniors. Simply put, the One Big Beautiful Bill is a massive win for middle-class Americans. When nearly 80 million Americans sent President Trump back to this White House, they were doing so expecting these popular policies to be enacted. Republicans in Congress have a mandate to deliver, and President Trump demands they send this historic bill to his desk for signature by Independence Day, July 4th. The American people are fully behind President Trump. According to brand new polling from Insider Advantage, a clear 54% majority of Americans approve of the job President Trump is doing. That's because this president is keeping his promises and taking action every day to improve their lives. And passing this bill will help fulfill a number of President Trump's core campaign promises. Now, regarding the ongoing situation in Iran, I know there has been a lot of speculation amongst all of you in the media regarding the president's decision-making and whether or not the United States will be directly involved. In light of that news, I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks." That's a quote directly from the president for all of you today.
Now, President Donald Trump and his administration have sought to maintain an air of strategic ambiguity, not revealing much publicly about their potential courses of action. Stay with us as we head into the business news. The Tobacco Products and Electronic Delivery Systems Control Bill in South Africa prohibits the sale of single cigarettes or loose cigarettes, which informal traders say could bankrupt their businesses. It also regulates other aspects of tobacco control, including public smoking, advertising, and packaging requirements. The Portfolio Committee on Health discussed the impact of the bill on businesses earlier this week. Now, members have completed public hearings in all provinces and are now taking oral submissions in Parliament. And with that, we'll now wrap up with the sports news. World Netball has unveiled a transformative new global event strategy headlined by the Netball World Cup, becoming a biennial event starting November 2029, following the 2027 tournament in Sydney. Now, further bolstering netball's reach, World Netball also announced the introduction of an inaugural Men's Netball World Cup in the coming years, a move designed to embrace the rapidly growing men's game and strengthen netball's case for Olympic inclusion. These strategic changes underscore World Netball's commitment to proactive growth and self-determination amidst evolving sporting landscapes. This includes uncertainties surrounding netball's future at the Commonwealth Games. And in more sporting news here tonight, the Springboks are set for a busy and exciting start to their 2025 international season, kicking off with the highly anticipated Qatar Airways Cup clash against the Barbarians next Saturday on June 28th in Cape Town. Now, following this intriguing encounter against the invitational side, the reigning World Cup champions will embark on their Casalaga incoming series. This will see them face Italy in back-to-back test matches, first in Pretoria on July 5th and then in Gqeberha on July 12th. The series will then conclude with a test against Georgia in Nelspruit on July 19th, providing a stern challenge as the Boks look to build momentum for their remainder of their international campaign. And that was your Friday night broadcast. Thank you for choosing PNW TV News. Until next time, good night.